Welcome to this tapping video on working on self-trust. All right, so EFT or tapping is a great practice to support us in becoming more trusting human beings of ourselves. So one of the best practices I have ever done was really learning to embody self-trust in myself so that I could go ahead and make decisions and actions in life and really not worry if I was making the wrong or right decision. When we're worried if we're gonna make the wrong or right decision and it's gonna affect our future, and we have a lot of anxiety around that, then oftentimes we can become paralyzed in the decision-making process, or really frustrated and regretful of decisions that we've made. So this practice to just be able to learn to trust yourself at every step of the road, that no matter what decision that you make, that decision is leading you to some aspect of your soul's evolution and journey for your highest good. And isn't that just an easier way to think about this process, that we're not really designed or destined to necessarily make big wrong mistakes or decisions, but that each thing leads us to something more. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the practice. If you've done tapping with me before, then you know what we do is we tap certain points on the body and we actually say the feeling that is true for us in the moment. So usually with self-trust, we don't naturally just say, oh, I trust myself to make the best and right decision, if we're actually dealing with a lot of feelings of mistrusting ourselves. Like, I don't actually trust myself to do that. So we state what's true for us in the present moment. And then when we start to feel an energetic shift in the body is when we start to reframe what we're saying into more of a positive affirmation. So for example, oh, I'm really scared that I'm going to make the wrong or right decision. And then we shift it to, I trust myself to make the right decision always. Okay, so, but we don't say that until we're really ready to believe that that's true. So I'll walk you through the practice and I will state some statements around this process, and then you can change the words to meet you however you would like, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. You'll follow along with me. I'll take you through the points really quick, just as a reminder that first we're gonna do an affirmation statement with the karate chop. And then we're gonna move into our baseline statements, first starting with the top of the head, then moving to the eyebrow, and then to the temple, under the nose, the chin point, the clavicle, the heart, and then just tapping your side body, your rib cage with your 2 fingers or your hands or whatever. It just matters that you're actually just touching the point, and you don't have to touch it with a lot of pressure. Just something gentle is fine. So all we're doing is tapping these energetic points. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Even though I find it difficult to trust myself, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Top of the head. I find it so hard to trust myself. I constantly go against my intuition, and I choose the wrong decision. I've made so many bad decisions in my life. I've suffered so many consequences from the decisions that I've made. I'm always worried I'm going to make the wrong decision. I don't trust myself to make the right decision. Decision making causes me so much anxiety. I don't trust myself. Chin point. I get so frustrated when I'm trying to make decisions because I'm so worried about making the right one. I feel out of control with making decisions. I don't trust myself. Heart point. Trusting myself is really hard. There are times when I made the wrong decision. There are times like I felt like I made the wrong decision. Side of the body. Trusting myself is really difficult, but I want to learn to trust myself. I would love to feel what it feels like to trust every decision that I make. Maybe I could be open to it, even though I don't feel it at this moment. Oh, I don't know about that. I've made so many bad mistakes in my life, made so many wrong turns. Eyebrow point. I don't know if I can actually trust myself. It's not how I feel in this moment. I actually feel a lot of regret for the decisions that I've made in my life. I feel like if I'd made better decisions, I would be somewhere else in my life right now. It's hard for me to accept that. It's hard for me to look back on my past and feel like my decisions were right. It feels hard for me to trust myself, to trust this process. Clavicle. Taking a breath. But maybe I can trust myself. What decisions have I made that have been good? I couldn't have made all bad decisions. Heart point. Sometimes I've made good decisions. Sometimes I have trusted myself to do the right thing. Maybe not every decision has to be the right one or the wrong one. Side body. What if all of my decisions were just an experience? What if none of my decisions were right or wrong? I'm open to thinking about it that way. Oh, but that sounds ridiculous. I've made so many bad mistakes. I don't trust myself to say the right thing, to do the right thing. I'm so scared of saying the wrong thing, pushing somebody away if I say the wrong thing. They won't like me if I say the wrong thing. I don't trust myself to say the right thing. But sometimes I say the right thing. Some things I have a lot to offer. I think I could see it differently. I think I could learn to trust myself. I could learn to see that every part of my process is here to support me in some way. Maybe I don't have to be perfect at making decisions or knowing if I'm saying or doing the right thing. I'm open to seeing my experiences as what it is that I need to learn for myself. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe everything that I'm doing is conspiring for my good, for my health, and my happiness. Even if sometimes it doesn't feel that way, or I don't notice it in the moment. Side body. Sometimes I've made decisions that seemed wrong in the moment, but they turned out good later. Maybe I can't actually know how my decisions are going to affect me. But what if I just trusted they affected me well? That no matter what, I made the right decision always. It feels hard to believe that entirely, but I think I could try it. I trust myself to make the right decision always. Feels a little difficult, but it feels good in my body. Feels like maybe I could believe that. I trust myself to make the right decision for myself always. I trust myself to make the right decision for myself always. I trust myself that whatever I do, as long as I am in good consciousness and acting integrity, it's the right thing for me. I'm also allowed to make mistakes. It's okay. I'm allowed to make mistakes. That's how I get to learn. So I can trust my mistakes as well. I can trust myself that I can make mistakes and love myself anyway. Heart point. Oh man, it feels good to feel self-trust. It feels good to know that I can trust myself no matter what I do, what I say, what experiences I choose to have. It feels really good to trust that all of that is conspiring for my highest and greatest good. And even though it feels hard to believe that, I'm open to believing that possibility. I'm open to believing that truth. I'm open to trusting myself no matter what. Side of the body. I think I could really trust myself. I could at least practice it. I could at least play with it. I think it would feel really good to trust myself. I'm open to trusting myself more. I'm open to seeing that every decision that I make is the right decision for me, no matter what. All right, and then bringing your hands to your heart, just taking a few deep breaths here. And noticing the difference of feelings that are in your body from where you began. And if you still feel an overabundance of lack of trust, just go through this process again. It'll take a few times, several practices to get your body to believe what you're trying to tell it. All right, so go ahead and practice this. I hope it helps, and I look forward to sharing another tapping video with you soon. Namaste.